This story is from the time when India was under British rule, and even the courts of justice were dominated by the powerful, the upper castes, and the British. The grand building of the Mumbai High Court was where big British barristers and wealthy Indian lawyers roamed around in their black coats. That day, outside this majestic court, in the room where lawyers usually sat, there was an unusual silence. A young man stepped inside through the door. He was wearing a neat and tidy suit and carrying a heavy bundle of law books. His name was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, a young man who had studied at Columbia and London. He was well educated. His intellect and knowledge put even the biggest scholars to shame. The moment Baba Saheb walked into the barroom, the fancy, suit-wearing elite lawyers sized him up from head to toe. Their eyes didn't show respect for him. Instead, they were full of caste-based hatred and disdain. Just then, the priciest and most arrogant lawyer in town, Mr. Chatterjee, blew smoke from his cigar and threw a sharp jab. "Hey, barrister, you might have degrees from abroad, but you forgot what caste you belong to? This is the High Court. This is where law rules. People like you from the Mahar caste, no person has the right to sit among us. Your place is outside, on the steps." All the lawyers standing there burst out laughing. Even an English lawyer joined in, saying, "Don't let him sit with us. Give him a spot outside by the stairs." This insult would have broken any ordinary man. But Baba Saheb wasn't made of clay. He was made of steel. There was no anger in his eyes, only a deep, ocean-like calm. Baba Saheb smiled and said very politely, "Sir, degrees and knowledge aren't anyone's birthright, and as far as sitting goes, the eyes of the goddess of justice, there's no difference between the dust on the stairs and the velvet chairs. My knowledge doesn't depend on this closed room." Saying this, Baba Saheb actually went outside the court to a small spot under a tree. He spread out a small mat, kept his books, and got to work. He started fighting cases for poor laborers, the oppressed, and helpless people for little or no fee. The lawyers inside often looked at him through the window and mocked him. Time passed. In the same city lived a very powerful and influential landlord, Thakur Bhawani Singh. His status was such that even high-ranking officials bowed their heads at his doorstep. But one day, the wheel of time turned, and a mountain of sorrow fell on Thakur Saheb. His only son, Vikram, was accused of murdering a British officer. The truth was, Vikram was a patriotic young man who openly opposed the brutalities of that cruel British officer. In retaliation, the British government framed Vikram in a false murder case. The police presented such fake witnesses and fabricated evidence that the lower court sentenced Vikram to death. Thakur Bhawani Singh's pride was shattered. He became a helpless father. He went to the biggest, most expensive, and most famous. They knocked on the lawyers' doors. They laid piles of money in front of them. But every lawyer who looked at the case file flat out refused to take the case. Even that arrogant Mr. Chatterjee threw the file down and said, "Thakur Saheb, better take your money back. The evidence against your son is rock solid." Besides, the officer who was killed was directly connected to top officials in London. Anyone who messes with this case will have their career ruined. Not even God can save your son from the noose now. There were only 7 days left until the execution. Thakur Bhawani Singh couldn't bear to see his wife's tears. He was going crazy. The lawyers were wandering around, in this helpless state. One day, they were standing in the High Court corridor, crying. Just then, Mr. Chatterjee passed by. He saw Thakur crying, and his pride was stirred again. He made a cruel joke at Thakur's expense. "Thakur Sahib, we've all given up. But look outside under that tree. A great scholar is sitting on a mat. Since we all failed, maybe that untouchable lawyer out there can save your son." Chatterjee was just joking. But for a drowning man, even a straw is a lifeline. Thakur Bhawani Singh ran out of the court, straight to Baba. He fell at the gentleman's feet. His turban was covered in dust. Begging, he said, "Barrister Sahib, please save my child. Take all my wealth, my land, whatever you want. Just pull my son down from the noose. His mother has stopped eating and drinking." Baba Sahib immediately helped him up and said, "Thakur Sahib, what are you doing? When all the big city barristers have given up, why have you come to a socially outcast lawyer like me who sits under a tree?" Thakur, crying, replied, "I have seen the world, Baba Sahib. Those suited men sitting inside, Lawyers have law degrees, but they don't have a heart. I can see that fire on your face, and the truth in your eyes that might just save my son's life. If my son dies, my whole family will be finished. Seeing the pain of this helpless father, Baba Sahib's heart softened. He hated injustice with a passion. Baba Sahib took the file in his hand and said, "Don't talk about money, Thakur Sahib. I will fight this case, not for your money, but to save the innocent life that this cruel government has trapped." Baba Sahib started reading Vikram's case file. He got started. That 500-page file was typed in English. Baba Saheb spent 3 whole days and nights without sleep, studying every single word, every comma, and full stop in that file. He read the witnesses' statements, went through the police reports, and carefully analyzed the post-mortem report. Then, suddenly, on the 3rd night, as he was reading, Baba Saheb's eyes lit up. A serious smile appeared on his face. His brilliant mind had found a legal loophole that all the top lawyers in the city had completely missed. The final hearing at the High Court began just 2 days before the execution. The courtroom was packed to the brim. Mr. Chatterjee and all the top lawyers were there. They had all come to watch how this lawyer, who used to sit under a tree, would embarrass himself in front of the British judge today. Sitting on the judge's bench was a very strict and ruthless British judge, Justice Henderson. Opposite him was the government lawyer, who was fully confident about winning the case. The judge slammed his gavel and said, "Mr. Ambedkar, your client is accused of the serious crime of killing a British officer. All the evidence is against him. Do you have anything to say?" Everyone in the courtroom thought Baba Saheb was about to give a long, detailed speech. He gave an emotional argument, but Baba Saheb stood his ground. His face was calm, and there was an incredible firmness in his voice. Baba Saheb said, "Your Honor, I have no arguments to make against the witnesses. I don't want to question the police report either." As soon as he said this, whispers started spreading in the courtroom. Thakur Bhawani Singh's heart sank. He felt the lawyer had gotten scared and had thrown in the towel. Mr. Chatterjee smiled sarcastically. The judge said in surprise, "So, do you believe your client is guilty? If you have no argument to make, I will deliver my verdict." Baba Saheb then stretched out his hand, and, "Please wait, Your Honor. I never said I wouldn't argue. I'm just saying I don't want to waste time on those fake pieces of evidence. My question is only about the section of the Indian Penal Code under which this case is being tried." The whole courtroom went silent. You could even hear a pin drop. Baba Saheb placed a thick law book in front of the judge, and with a strong voice began, "Your Honor, my client is accused of criminal conspiracy and murder. According to the police theory, my client Vikram, along with his associate Rahim, this was a conspiracy." The judge, annoyed, said, "So what's wrong with that? That's exactly the case." Baba Saheb smiled and dropped his trump card. "What's wrong, Your Honor, is that by the definition of law, a conspiracy requires at least 2 people. No one can conspire alone." The judge replied, "So what? Vikram and Rahim were 2 people." Baba Saheb pulled out a page from the file and waved it in the air, saying, "Here's the catch, Your Honor. The police acquitted Rahim with honor 3 months ago due to lack of evidence in this very case. Now tell me legally, explain it, Your Honor. If the court has accepted that Rahim was not involved in any conspiracy, then how could Vikram have conspired alone? When the other person accused of conspiring has been proven innocent, how can this conspiracy case against Vikram hold up legally? If A didn't conspire with B, then how did B conspire with A?" This was an ironclad legal argument that shook the entire courtroom. The British judge was left speechless. The government lawyer was sweating bullets. Baba Saheb had torn apart the very trap the British had woven using their own English law books. This wasn't some emotional appeal. It wasn't just that. It was a solid legal argument, one that couldn't be broken. He went on to say that since the entire foundation of this conspiracy had already been dismantled by an earlier court ruling, the whole case, which was based on lies, falls apart. My client deserves to be released immediately, legally speaking. The lawyers in court who were mocking Baba Saheb just a while ago now sat quietly in their seats. Mr. Chatterjee hung his head in shame. The British judge flipped through the law books several times and gave the government lawyer an angry look. But Dr. Ambedkar's argument was just that powerful. He was so strong and technically precise that the judge had no choice. Finally, the judge banged his gavel and announced the verdict. Considering the defense lawyer's technical and legal arguments, the court finds this case full of legal flaws. The court respectfully acquits Vikram. As soon as the verdict echoed, Thakur Bhavani Singh broke down in tears. He ran and grabbed Baba Saheb's feet. The crowd in the courtroom erupted into thunderous applause. Baba Saheb calmly gathered his files. Mr. Chatterjee quietly approached him, and with a trembling voice said, "Barrister, sir, please forgive us. We made fun of your intelligence just because of your caste. Today, you've shown that true knowledge doesn't depend on a fancy chair or the status you're born into." Baba Saheb smiled and replied, "The legal profession is meant to deliver justice, not to show off ego." Baba Saheb picked up his old bag and walked out of the court with the same calm and dignified stride. For him, this wasn't a miracle, but a victory of education, truth, and hard work. Friends, this story is not just a courtroom drama. It's a lesson for all of us in life. Here's a big lesson for all of us. We often judge people by their looks, their clothes, their caste, their status, or their influence. But Baba Saheb's life teaches us that no matter how much dust covers a diamond, its shine never fades. The most important thing is, when you face a tough time, don't panic or give up. There's no lock in this world without a key. Just like Baba Saheb found a way out of an impossible case using only his deep focus and knowledge. If we carefully study our problems, we will definitely find a solution. You'll get it. Ego makes a person blind, but education and humility make a person unbeatable. So, invest in your education. Make your knowledge your greatest weapon. Because when the time comes to test you, it's not your clothes or status that matter, but your knowledge and wisdom. This was Baba Saheb's core message too. Be educated, stay organized, and keep fighting. That's all for today's video. If you like this video and want us to continue Baba Saheb's mission, you can support us financially. You can support us financially by scanning the QR code, which we really need right now. How did you like our video about Baba Saheb? Please let us know by leaving a comment. Friends, that's all for today's video. On this channel, I keep sharing all kinds of information about Baba Saheb's life, big and small. If you like Baba Saheb and want to know more about him, be sure to subscribe to our Ambedkar Saheb YouTube channel. Thanks for watching the whole video. I hope your thoughts are as good as Baba Saheb's.